Hello YouTube, and today I'm reacting to a different type of video. So this is food theorist. Y'all know I got it. Yo, Matt Pat, bro. Matt Pat is, I be watching all of his food theory, film theory, game theory. Don't even get me started. GT Live, y'all, like, don't even play with me. Don't even play with me when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's and other stuff. Like, don't even play with me like that. But I hope I don't get copyrighted for this. No disrespect. I just want to react to his food theorist thing. None of this stuff is mine. I have no rights to none of this stuff up here. If you want me to take the video down, just let me know. I'll take it down. I'll issue an apology too. I'm just, just reacting. But this is food theory of food that this is not my original channel. I have, like, this is my upload channel. I have another channel which I'm subscribed to, like, mad people, but this is a food theory, the disturbing lore of Chuck E. Cheese. Yo, let's just get into it. Make sure you guys subscribe to Matt Pat on food theory, film theory, game theory, and GT Live. Make sure you guys subscribe to me too on YouTube at Peppermint Barbie, at TikTok at Peppermint Barbie, and on Twitch at Peppermint Barbie. Let's get into this, bro.
For years, we've been terrified of animatronics. But have you ever once considered that maybe, just maybe, the animatronics are the ones who should be afraid of us?
Wow. That is, and there's an ad up there. My other channel is YouTube Premium, bro. We gonna sit there, we gonna give him some support. He making money off of this.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory, the show that knows that you can't spell animatronic without P-I-Z-Z-A. Hold on. In case you're new here, let me catch you up. I like pizza, I like animatronics, and I like murder.
You know, that is 100% true, but, like, like, those places, they also have, like, pasta. I don't know when they brought it to people, but they also have, like, pasta. Then they have, like, Alfredo. They have, like, little salad. Like, they have, like, a little salad bar and stuff. They have candy at the prize counters and stuff. So it's not just pizza, but if you go into Chuck E. Cheese, you're getting pizza. Like, point blank period.
Murder. Alright, probably should have phrased that last one better, but you know what? We're
Half
just gonna roll
plain,
with it.
half
Anyway, there's a
pepperoni.
natural order to the universe that says whenever robotic animals are inside a dining establishment, horrible tragedy shall follow. Enter Chuck E. Cheese. Since opening back in 1977, Chuck E. Cheese has been the fever dream of kids everywhere.
I'm sorry, y'all talk a lot, so I always got a lot to say. Yeah, kids nowadays.
Places
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say
of
it.
having a birthday in Vegas. Another round of
Y'all didn't
sodas
have
over here
Chuck E.
because
Cheese back
somebody
then.
just
Like,
said new
I'm
high
saying,
score in
you
Whack-A-Frog, and I am
right now.
rolling
It's
in
not
those
really
tickets,
popular.
baby. Here's a
Back
ticket for
in
your
my
trouble,
time.
sweetums. Also, while you're at it, hit me up with some of those balls. I got a date with Big Bertha tonight.
Okay, so, like, that's the thing where you throw it in the machine and she gets like really big. That is one of my favorite games. You just sit there and you just keep bah bah bah, and I sit there and you play it over and over again. And I'd be like, I need more Chuck E. Cheese cookies, and my parents looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? But I think these are one of the ones where some of them you don't really get a lot of tickets, or some of them you don't get tickets. You need the tickets to get your prizes and stuff. You know how game stuff like this work, arcades work, right?
The arcade game where you throw balls into a woman's mouth until she reaches the point of obesity. Candy, games, pizza, I mean, what's not to love? Oh yeah, them. You see, Chuck E. Cheese was the creation of Nolan Bushnell, co-founder of the video game company Atari. The idea was
he
to
making
create a
money!
restaurant that doubled as a carnival, a place where families could play together while also experiencing the newfangled entertainment medium of video games for the first time. The reason for it being a pizza place was threefold. Pizza.
You know what? That might be the reason why I play so many video games. Like, cause I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese almost. My grandmother almost every week she would take me and my brother down to Chuck E. Cheese, and we would always, and for birthday parties too, But like in like a regular basis, we will always go to Chuck E. Cheese. That was just a place. R.I.P. to my grandmother, cause she's dead. With she had Alzheimer's, but like She used to always take us to Chuck E. Cheese. She in heaven right now though. She used to always take us to Chuck E. Cheese, and we used to spend like we used to spend a long time there. But like that makes sense for the fact that I grew up with Chuck E. Cheese, grew up always going to Chuck E. Cheese, probably more than the average kid, and I love to play video games. And like it truly makes sense, bro. Nana, I got you to thank me for that. Did anybody else call their grandmothers Nana? I call one of my grandmothers is Gram. The other one is Nana.
Was easy to make and required few ingredients. It took a while to cook, which allowed families to spend time playing games. And 3, can't really screw up pizza. Well, until of course your restaurant produces some misshapen pies and is suddenly suspected of recycling old slices from other tables. Something that we've talked about in a previous episode. If you go check it out, make sure you say
point blank period. Whenever you go to a restaurant, you don't know what is recycled, what is clean, what is used. You know, if you don't want to deal with that, eat at home. But you know, on the downside, you know, nobody really like dies from this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not like people are getting. You guys heard of monkeypox? You know, it came out after COVID. Monkeypox is like a skin disease from like touching, or you know, just like touching skin on skin is like you get like blisters and stuff, kind of like cold sores. But I guess it doesn't have to be STD, but. You know, it's not like people are, you know, when people don't know if like they're eating from, or if they eat from like a plate that somebody else ate from, that, you know, like we have like an outbreak of like monkeypox or like STDs or something like that, you know. So I usually try not to make a big deal out of stuff when I be like, you know what I'm saying? If I just, you know, if I think something's unclean or something, I'll just be like, yeah, the plate's dirty. And then, you know, the waitresses looked at you like they want to kill you or something. But I mean, I have people tell me like, oh yeah, this dish is dirty, even though it went through the dishwasher. Sometimes it doesn't get washed properly, and you know, and I'll sit there and I'll take it to the dishwasher and be like, this is dirty, and they look at me like they want to kill me, and I'm like, what y'all want me to do about it? But yeah, I mean, like with like recycled pizza, like it's not like nobody died from it, but that's still nasty as heck. Like I feel like you can't trust anything, but you know, only thing you can trust is your own food products and products that you make at home. But y'all don't give no restaurants no hard time about it, cause if y'all didn't know what it's like working at a restaurant, you know what I'm saying? And one thing you can do is be nice to your waiter, and I'm pretty sure if you're nice to your waiter, they ain't gonna give you no recycled pizza. But you gotta be nice as soon as you walk through the door. You know what I'm saying? Don't, after they give you the recycled pizza, don't then be nice, because you already got the recycled pizza. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking on that, y'all. I don't think they're giving anybody recycled pizza.
Say hi to Amy down in the comments. She'll appreciate it. She was a trooper for testing out way too many pizzas in that episode. Anyway, the animatronic performers that became synonymous with Chuck E. Cheese were more of a byproduct of Nolan's fascination with Disney, specifically the Country Bear Jamboree show. Clearly, the strategy was working for Walt over at his Disneyland park, so why not bring those same robots to budget-conscious families that wanted entertainment but couldn't make it all the way out to Southern California? And the rest, as they say, is history, living on in the collective nightmares of 80s-era children and Gen Z indie horror games. Eventually, home video game consoles as well as the lackluster, potentially recycled pizza got the better of the franchise, and it went bankrupt in 2020, nearly $1 billion in debt. I think most—
What? Wait, Chuck E. Cheese is bankrupt? But there's still Chuck E. Cheese's like... No, there's still Chuck E. Cheese's around, right? I mean, just because they went bankrupt. I think Toys R Us went bankrupt too. But my dad said that they might be coming back. But wait, Chuck E. Cheese is bankrupt? I mean, like, I know nobody really go there no more. It's because y'all kids nowadays, like, I don't be seeing like people go to Chuck E. Cheese. It used to be for every birthday party, you know, that you would go to Chuck E. Cheese. Like that was just it. Or Dave and Buster's when you got like a little bit older, you know, like past like, you know, like teenager, you know, then you go to like Dave and Buster's. But yeah, Chuck E. Cheese was a thing back in my days, and for just almost all of my birthday parties when I was young was at Chuck E. Cheese. But I feel like nowadays people do birthday parties at their home or at restaurants, which really wasn't you know, that would almost be like a thing. Like every year you would go to a restaurant, you know, or to Chuck E. Cheese, you know, and spend mad money. Rather than nowadays, I feel like a lot of people, you know, they spend their birthdays at home by themselves or with family, with friends. You know, you go out drinking or whatnot, you know, and instead of having like a group of like 20 people celebrating your birthday.
Most of us are aware of at least some part of that story, right? But what I think you may not know is the lore of these characters, because there is lore, and let me tell you, it is dark. For years, we've been talking about how scary Chuck E. Cheese is, and in reality,
I keep pausing. Yo, I used to be so afraid of Chucky when I was like really little. My parents said that I would like run away from Chucky, and I cried. Like I was so afraid of them. But then I found out that, you know, like I was afraid of the Chucky guy in the suit, the guy in the suit. I used to be afraid of him. But I got, you know, some common sense and found out that, you know, it was a person in there. After my parents told me it's a person in there. Peppermint Barbie, stop crying. Like, you know, then I got, you know, used to it. And so, you know, I just, you know. But these characters, and then where's the pizza dude? But yeah, I used to think the guy in the purple was the same purple as Barney, and I used to think it was also the same purple dude from McDonald's, because McDonald's, they also got a purple dude too. Y'all don't even probably
Isn't
know
the one on stage that you should be most afraid of. In fact, once you know the real story, it's clear that Chucky is the actual victim here. A literal hostage that's being forced to stand up on stage and perform. And when he stops, he dies. So grab a napkin and start dabbing up the excess grease off your misshapen pizza as I tell you the tragic tale of Chucky and the man who's murdering his co-stars. Our story begins with a coyote. You see, Nolan Bushnell's Family Carnival restaurant wasn't always meant to have a rodent as their mascot. As the story goes, the main mascot was originally meant to be a coyote, but when Bushnell learned that the costume that he had bought for his main character was actually that of a rat, well, he had to do some quick thinking. He decided to rebrand the entire thing from Coyote Pizza to Rick Rat's Pizza. Now, obviously that's gonna cause you a couple of problems since, I don't know about you, but most restaurants don't really want to associate with rats. So his marketing team suggested doing something that they thought might be a bit more appealing to hungry customers. Chuck E. Cheese,
animal. I don't care
a rat, but now at least they're not calling the fact that he's a disease-ridden rodent in your face. Apparently they went with Chuck E. Cheese as the name because it forced people to smile when they said it. Let's be honest,
Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese.
A smile is about as much happiness as you're gonna find in this place anyway, so good call! It's also worth noting that Chucky didn't start off as the hip skateboarder that he is today.
Yo, so they came up with this new design that I do not like. I'm like, what the heck is that? A rat equivalent of the Geico gecko? Like, I don't know. Chuck E. Cheese, this one don't work out. Geico do it well. This, take this off. What is this? No. I muted the stream because I'm reckless. Wait.
As the hip skateboarding mouse that he is today. Instead, he was a rat from New Jersey, smoking a cigar and roasting the other members of the animatronic cast. A collection of characters that felt so random it was like they were playing a drunken game.
They actually, who are these people? Okay, I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. This. Who are these people? That is so racist. That is very racist because we have a lot of people, because you know the pizza guy is obviously Italian, and we have a lot of them around us here in the tri-state area. That is so racist to make them from New Jersey though. That is very racist. I felt some type of way. I mean, like, I'm not Italian, so I can't speak on it, but
a collection of characters that feel
okay, I remember. I know the top 4 characters. I'm clicking on random things. Why? Because my computer hates me. I didn't know they had names. That's Jasper Pascal. I can't say that. Helen.
Random. It was like
Mr. Munch. Wow, that's kind of racist though.
they were playing a drunken game of Mad Libs. You have yourself a chef, a dog, a pig. All right, all that makes sense.
Well, I mean,
but also a purple
you know what
alien,
they all
the
look like in
moon,
different
a
ethnicities
lineup of singing mops, a literal building, a hippo with jiggle physics, and an old man known simply as Mr. Cooch. Part of the reason so many feel out of place here is that they were obtained from a rival animatronic pizza place and then retrofitted into the style of Chuck E. Cheese. So let me tell you, the videos online of how to restyle these characters is scarier than anything FNAF has produced in the last 7 years.
Welcome to the Concept Unification Installation Tape. This tape is meant to supplement the installation manual, not replace it. Now Mitzi, starting with her sweater, wig,
That's a female?
mask, ears, pigtail mount,
Should I bleep this out?
skirt, shoes,
Oh my god.
So that's the origins of Charles
That's
Entertainment
how they
Cheese's
really
gang mascots.
look.
So what?
I thought only Five Nights at Freddy's made them to look like that because of like, you know, just to give them like an exoskeleton. I didn't know they actually really look like that, bro.
What about the actual lore here? Well, back in
Who are
June of
these characters?
2017,
Like,
News
why do they
Blog
look like
Insider
that?
reached out to CEC Entertainment, Chuck E. Cheese's parent company, to see if Charles Entertainment Cheese was indeed the character's official name. Christelle DuPont, public relations manager for CEC Entertainment, informed them that since there was never a birth certificate, the company couldn't actually be sure. Which, I mean, I guess, but also, I don't think that's the way it works here.
Yeah.
Show me Ronald McDonald's birth certificate. Is the Burger King truly royalty, or is he merely a usurper to the throne? Anyway, while she couldn't officially answer the name question, she did point everyone to an online book detailing Chuck E. Cheese's backstory. And this is a treasure trove of information that will blow your mind. As the story goes, Chucky was an orphan mouse at the St. Marinara orphanage. He loved to sing happy birthday to all the other orphans. In a cruel twist, because he was an orphan, no one actually knew his birthday, so they just gave up. No one even bothered to try and find it or give him an honorary birthday or anything, because that's what happens when you're an orphan. Hard knock life and all that. TLDR, no one ever sang or celebrated for the mouse.
Well, this is going to be my personality for the rest of my life.
Outside of singing and orphan, Chuck had two other defining character traits. He loved pizza and playing Pong. Thank you, Daddy Atari. That skill set is totally gonna age well. But of course, because he was an orphan, he was constantly struck by the feeling that something in his life was missing, like parents. So one day after winning $50 from a Pong tournament, I kid you, I am not making this stuff up, Chuck bought himself a bus ticket to New York and ran away. Having no place to stay, he found shelter above a pizza restaurant owned by Chef Pasquale P. Piper. One night, Chucky thought that Pasquale had already left.
Well, about the thing, like, yeah, New York and New Jersey, and well, I don't know what the other tri-states is. I think it's Philly, maybe Philly, places that are around us, Connecticut. You know, we do have a lot of pizza places around us and stuff. Like, New York is like a pizza store around every corner. Have y'all ever tried $1 pizza? I kid you not, $1. I haven't had it in a while though, because I usually cook my own food. If not, I go to, like, you know, a nice restaurant every once in a while. But I don't mean like nice like that nice. I mean like not rich people nice. But yeah, like there's mad pizza spots, you know, best pizza, best water, that's what everybody says. And then there's the yeah, there's pizza stores around every corner. I'm not gonna say what else we got around every corner. There's nothing inappropriate, but you know, I feel like I don't want to say no racial thing, but like we got a lot of corner stores. I'm gonna say it then. We got a lot of chicken spots too, you know. But like them chicken spots is good, and they're not always black owned, so don't even say nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Maybe they are black owned, but not like African American owned. But you know, I mean, sometimes I don't know. I'm not even gonna speak on that. But yeah, we do have a lot of spots, a lot of pizza stores. $1 pizza. The pizza's good too. I mean, it don't taste like fresh Italian pizza, you know, or Pizza Hut, but or Domino's. But like, you know, it's for $1. Don't even get me started on how I be spending my money at them spots where things are cheap.
Left, he went down to explore the restaurant, only to be immediately discovered by the chef. Pasquale flies into a rage, chases Chuck around the kitchen, him and raises a rolling pin, ready to strike down the death blow. Finish him! Chucky, howling in fear, knees shaking, facing his final seconds of life, does the one and only thing that has ever brought him joy over the years. He sings. Upon hearing that the mouse could sing, Pasquale lowers his rolling pin, and then decides to pull capitalism and exploit the mouse's talent for his own personal gain. As the story goes, quote, Pasquale was so shocked he dropped the rolling pin. A mouse that can sing? My restaurant is saved! I'm gonna make you a star! He renames his restaurant Chuck E. Cheese's, home of the world-famous singing mouse, and literally forces Chucky to perform there. The story then ends with this line, and Chucky hasn't stopped singing or smiling since. Well, yeah, because his name forces you to smile. We've already covered that. But in all seriousness, the parenthesis around the word smiling here is giving me a real serious cry for help vibe. So that's the story of Chuck E. Cheese, an orphan rat rebranded into a mouse who's basically being held hostage and forced to sing to stay alive. Notice that Pasquale specifically calls out that his restaurant is saved after hearing Chuck E. Cheese sing, meaning that it was already on its way out. Chucky was Pasquale's meal ticket. After all, notice how he didn't take any appropriate measures when he found Chucky was a runaway orphan. He didn't do anything like, you know, alert officials that he'd found a runaway kid or make any attempt at contacting the original orphanage. In Pasquale's eyes, Chucky was a means to an end, a way of getting famous. He's an ad
coming.
Go to motionray.com to add this to your video, and that, and that.
Fire, smoke, 2D. Get it on Motion Array.
animal with a talent for music, and if he ever stops attracting customers, would it really be that hard to believe that Pasquale might just decide to finish the job? It's also made clear that Pasquale isn't paying the members of his band anything beyond keeping your own life. In the movie Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000, we see a kid who needs some serious cash for his family's tractor.
What's the problem?
He needed some dough. He needed cash. Charlie, he needed $50,000.
Notice how little the performers are able to cough up to help him.
Come on, gang, cough it up. No holding back.
I've got $2.
I've got a $5.
Also notice who doesn't lay any money on the table, Pasquale.
Why do you need us, Pasquale? You've got more dough than anyone in town.
They even make mention that the performers could get jobs to help them earn money, meaning that standing up on stage performing under Pasquale's rule doesn't pay.
How are we going to get that kind of money?
We could all get jobs. I saw a help wanted sign down at the Chicken Palace.
It's here that we get this gem of information.
Pasquale, do you have any ideas on how we can come up with $50,000 for Charlie's aunt and uncle?
You could pay him a fair wage. That's an idea.
I'm glad you asked that question, Chucky. In a few days, big races are gonna take place.
The Galaxy 5000
Did he just try to rhyme?
race on the planet Orion.
Like y'all don't
in a
think
dangerous
I'm not
intergalactic space race.
Nobody
See that
talks
one
like
coming,
that.
did ya?
But
And
like,
despite it being dangerous, Pasquale is more than eager to sign him up for it. Now, talking about
This is
just
why-
this
this is
movie
why
alone would
people
merit
be
its own video. Let's just say that everyone is very excited to be hanging out with each other. Chickens with mice, mice with humans, humans with multiple humans, chickens with multiple humans. The adult time relations between characters is a bigger plot point than you'd expect for a badly CGI'd film extension to a children's restaurant mascot.
Ooh, Chucky!
Race car drivers are so cool.
Get it. Fair and square.
No, I've got it. I'd appreciate it if you kept this to yourself.
I didn't know that you were taken.
Like one of the guys, right, Helen?
Oh, maybe you could say that today's race separated the mice from the men.
Sorry about your little mousy friend.
We like stealing his girlfriends and beating him in the races.
Side note, just wanted to take a minute to point out that Jasper the dog here is reading Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men. What even is this movie? Anyway, back to the point. Pasquale is...
I remember reading that. That's the one with, I think it's one when the character's name is Lenny. And this, I don't know, I might be wrong, but they made us read that in, like, middle school. Or, like, high school, and it was, like, really, this might be a different one. It takes place in, like, a farm, or, like, a barn. If it's the book that I'm thinking about, I might be thinking about a different book. That book is very disturbing, because somebody gets killed.
holding these innocent animals hostage and is more than willing to sacrifice their safety if it means money for him. And that's not all. He's always wiping away any evidence of those misdeeds. Remember, he's in control of the company. This is his restaurant and his business. So is it weird that 2 months after Chuck E. Cheese's orphan story came out, one that was written by Chucky himself, the restaurant's official YouTube channel releases a video showcasing the exact same story, except with one huge difference. This one paints Pasquale in a positive light.
Found a place that served great pizza made by a funny chef with a mustache. His name was Pasquale.
My restaurant was losing money. I was about to close my doors. Chucky offered to help me out.
Oh yeah? He offered to help you out? Was that before or after you threatened to bludgeon him with a rolling pin? And don't you for a minute think that this is some sort of corporate rebrand or anything. This is Pasquale actively gaslighting us and Chucky. In another video on the YouTube channel, the cast is looking at a photo album of past memories. In it, we get this.
Remember that time we went to the moon eating moon cheese? That was a really good time.
Wait, we never...
There we are, helping a Benjamin Franklin.
Electricity. We never...
It's all lies. The photo album is filled with lies. Pasquale is feeding them false memories. For now, at least. You see, I think Chucky's days are numbered. Pasquale now knows that his star mouse is becoming a liability, not only telling the dirty secrets of his backstory, but also drawing in fewer customers by the year with his singing. That's why in mid-2020, Pasquale decided to relaunch his own self-named brand, Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. It's the same food as Chuck E. Cheese, but delivered. A ghost kitchen that's owned and operated and starring him. Pasquale saw that Chucky's side of the story had the potential of bringing bad press. He knew that having his name linked to the attempted murder of everyone's favorite mouse wouldn't be so good. So Pasquale did the one thing that he could do. He used the company's platforms to release a version of the story which painted him in a better light, all while building his own personal brand on the side. And the true motive for all of it? Well, as we see on the website for Chuck E. Cheese in Jordan, the country of Jordan, Pasquale is a man who dreams of being the best pizza maker and entertainer the world has ever seen. But for years, he's played second fiddle to the rats. No more! Chucky served his purpose in the beginning. He was a way for Pasquale to get famous, but now that Chuck E. Cheese's brand is known the world over, it's time for Pasquale to make his move. He knows that he can't achieve his dreams if Chucky stays in the picture, but he also just can't get rid of him either without people noticing. He needs a way to get out of Chucky's shadow without drawing too much attention. Relaunching Pasquale's Pizza would be his only chance at branching out, a way that he can finally shake the Chuck E. Cheese moniker and make a name for himself before finally closing the curtain on the rat. I mean, let's be honest, over the years, the Chuck E. Cheese brand has had a total of 32 different members go missing from the lineup. Where'd they all go? Pasquale sure seemed in a hurry to get rid of them. And isn't it weird that Helen, Jasper, and Mr. Munch didn't call out the fake memories when they were looking at that album earlier? It's because they know better. They know that they have to play along. That's how they've lasted so long. But Chuck, he's the one calling out the mistruths. He's the one out of the loop. And pretty soon, he's gonna be cut out of a lot more than that. But hey, do you like getting free stuff just for buying things? I mean, you're already spending money, so why not get even more out of that purchase? Well, our sponsor for today's episode, Fetch, is a totally free app that lets you earn rewards on literally anything and everything you buy. Here's what you do. Whenever you're out and you buy something, you can use Fetch to scan your receipt with your phone. As long as the receipt isn't older than 2 weeks, it'll be fine. It works. It's even easier with online shopping. You can just let the Fetch app scan your emails and automatically search for any and all eligible e-receipts. And then bam! You earn points that you can then use to get all kinds of rewards, including gift cards for Starbucks, Walmart, Amazon. Personally, I've actually been using my rewards for gift cards to Chipotle, which seems odd, but may or may not be relevant to a future food theory. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'll let you theorize about that one down in the comments. Scanning the receipts and redeeming points is super quick and easy. Just take some pictures of your receipts with your phone and Fetch handles the rest, all in a matter of seconds. And when I say that Fetch works on basically anything, I mean anything. Receipts from brick and mortar retail stores, it works. Restaurants, done. E-receipts and Amazon purchases, totally fine. It even works for Chuck E. Cheese receipts, which, you know, is gonna be nice if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're buying 12 separate pies to see whether they're reusing other customers' pizzas. Don't know if you've ever found yourself in that very specific situation, but in case you do, Fetch is there for you. So if you want to get more out of the money that you're already spending, go download Fetch by clicking the link in the description. Make sure you code Food Theory, FOODTHEORY, and you'll get 5,000 points when you scan your very first receipt. Redemptions on Fetch actually start at 5,000 points, so you can get a reward right now just by signing up using that code. That's Food Theory, FOODTHEORY, getting 5,000 points just for scanning any receipt you just have lying around the house. So go, reward yourself today, and as always, remember.
Just like, look, it depends on where you live at, depending on how your restaurant is gonna be. Cause like when I worked at KFC, and I worked at KFC and a Taco Bell is like a combined joint. So like people were like, oh yeah, KFC got rotten food, and I'm like, I worked at a couple of KFC because they had like different locations. Never once did I smell any rotten food being reused. You know, that maybe in your town, because the people at your town, you know, don't like you. Let me stop. It's because, you know, some people don't like their job. It depends on the managers, you know, how your restaurant is gonna look. But, you know, don't sit there and think that every restaurant is the same, you know, unless you're talking about like corporate stuff. But like, as far as like people having moldy food at KFC, never happened to me. I used to eat the food there too. Used to see the food being cooked. One thing though is that we used to cook not the chicken, like the actual chicken, but like chicken tenders and popcorn shrimp. I don't know if it's different now, but for you guys who are vegan, they are cooked in the same grease as the French fries. Just letting you guys know. I never, and you know, I would sit there and I would say that, but like, you know, not to the customers though, because it's none of my business, you know. But you know, I would never. But then somebody might sit there and be like, yo, that's just your restaurant. We had a separate fryer, but nobody at my restaurant said anything about it, you know. Our chicken tenders, not the actual chicken itself. The actual chicken itself had a different fryer or a different way it was cooked, and only used by the person who was breading or cooking the chicken, which that process I don't really know that much. But as far as when I would, you know, when we would do our chicken tenders, not the chicken tenders, our popcorn chicken. And did we have chicken tenders? Yeah, we do have chicken tenders because we had the chicken littles. But I don't think they have it anymore. And our chicken littles, oh yeah, we had the chicken tender, the deal. But you know, I would put it, you know, we will put it in the same as the fries. So, you know, next time you vegans, vegetarians, or people who don't eat chicken, when you go to KFC, ask them, don't send them that I sent you, but ask them, you know, like, oh, you gotta let them know, I am vegetarian, I am vegan, do you know if the chicken is being cooked? Like, are the French fries being cooked separately from the chicken tenders, or are they using the same grease? You know, be nice about it though, because we don't, you know, nobody has to do anything for you, even though they could lose their job for being rude. You know, so some people, a job is just a job. They'll get another one, but always be nice to your employees. And I speak a lot anyways, but let's go on to the next video. But I'm gonna end this video right here on Twitch to do the other video, because I don't feel like editing out the whole thing and cutting it out and stuff, and that's too much work. But make sure you guys go subscribe to the Food Theorist, and look at his channel, you know, and tell him Peppermint Barbie sent you. Let me stop. He don't care. He don't know who I am. Who am I? I'm nobody. But let's get on to the next video. I'm gonna end it right there. Peppermint Barbie out. And make sure you guys also subscribe to me too. You know, show me some love. And if y'all don't want to subscribe or like my video, look at my video, you guys can also show love by sharing it. Share my videos too. Peppermint Barbie out.